So, but it still spoke to me this evening, and so I feel like it definitely is something that the Lord wants me to share with you. So recently, like earlier this year, there was a series on Netflix I started watching called Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. Some of you may have heard of it. It's really big right now. It's based off of a book that she wrote that was all about the concept of tidying up your home by getting rid of things that don't spark joy. That may all seem very, very, whatever, but it really was talking about, getting rid of those things in your life that really aren't useful to you anymore. Getting rid of things that, that dress that you wore 15 years ago that you really had a great memory about, but it doesn't fit now, it's not in style anymore, it's just not for you anymore. And what really spoke to me about that is, there's a season for everything in our lives, for ideas, for people, for clothing, for all kinds of things in our lives that spark joy at the time, that give us a lot of joy, that we have happy memories attached to, but that just aren't really compatible with our lives right now, or our lives going forward. And it got me to thinking about, seasons of my life. Seasons of my, as many of you know, I came to be a believer in adulthood around the age of 32. So I had a lot of adulthood under my belt and a lot of coping mechanisms and ideas and ideologies that helped me during my season of life before I became a believer. And then even after becoming a believer, still other seasons of my life through my life in believership where things really served me well, ideas really served me well, people in my life really served me well during that time. But you go into a new season and those ideas don't really mesh with your current situation. Doesn't mean they're necessarily bad. It just means that that particular thing that served you so well during that time doesn't serve you very well right now. That may all be a little bit kind of vague, but so many times we focus on something that is in the past, something that worked for us in the past, some tactic that worked for us in the past, or just something that happened in the past, even something that the Lord has done for us in the past in our lives. And we get stuck focusing on that thing and we forget to move forward. We're having those things in the past kind of clutter up our lives right now, and we don't have enough room to see what the Lord's doing for us right now, or what He's got that He's trying to lead us toward in the future. And we get so clinging on to those things because they were good, they felt good, which those are good things. We can also hold on to bad things from our past that felt good, that made us feel good at that time, but that aren't doing us any good moving forward. Like I said, it can be something good or something bad, but we hold on to them so hard that we can't let them go. And we just hold on to them and let them clutter up our lives and let them be in the back of our minds and let them be, color everything that we do going forward instead of letting them be where they are, learning the lesson that they were there to teach us, and then moving forward. And sometimes you take those lessons into the future, but sometimes those lessons are meant to teach you from going into the past or repeating things that you were doing then. Isaiah 43, 18 through 19 is, "Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it?" And what that says to me is, don't worry about what was in the past, even things that the Lord has done for you in the past. That's wonderful. Praise Him, and you can continue to praise Him for it, but don't get so focused on that you don't see what He's got for you new. He's constantly, renewing us and straightening our path and making a new thing for us to go through in ministry, in life, in just evolving. So don't get so bogged down with the weight of old things that you forget to go for new things. And that's not just in going from being a non-believer, going to your new self as a new believer, but even in your walk as a believer. Ephesians 4:22-24 is, put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires. Obviously, that's us through, before our believership. And to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. That is joy. Joy is putting on that new self. Joy is getting rid of that old self and putting on those new things that the Lord has for us and continuing to walk in the ways that He wants to walk. That's true joy. That's not just, oh, I love this dress. That's true joy. And just to remember that there are seasons of our life. The Lord says there is a time for everything and a season and purpose under heaven. There is a time to keep and a time to throw away. And He, in that way, He gives you that permission to say, it's okay to let go of things. It's okay to let go of ideas and people and even our sense of identity that came before, to cast it off and to say, Lord, I'm going to let you do a new thing in me. I'm going to make room for a new thing. I'm going to get rid of some of this old baggage, of this old weight, and I'm going to allow you to do a new thing in my life. So tidy up. But that's what He had for me. So if you feel like there's anything that you keep going back to, some old shame or even some old victory that you just, it's wonderful, or it's something that you don't want to forget, but you just keep holding on to it so tightly that you can't unclench your grip enough to open up your hands for what the Lord's got for you, unclench your grip and let it go. Thank you.
Good word.